color. My name is Cynthia, and I will be taking us through DXY, GU, and EU analysis, right? And then I'll have my colleague coming up, take us on precious metals and yen basket, right? As we always do, please kindly share the link with everyone. You know, this will be very beneficial too. Kindly share the link on your various social media platforms and everywhere. Just spread the good news, right? I'll be giving us 30 seconds to do that before we go ahead to do that. This is to bring your notice. This is to let you know that this market color is being powered by Okta and brought to you by Value Flow Trading, right? So I'll just give us 30 seconds to do that before we proceed with the analysis. Thank you, and God bless. All right, so welcome back. While we're still in the process of doing that, we'll just head straight to see what the following pairs are doing today, right? So on the X on our monthly time frame, we can see that price is clearly bullish, right, to the upside. And I expect that price should trade all the way into this fair value gap and expect some sort of a reaction from that region, right? But as we can see, price got to this order block here, and there's a reaction of that point on our monthly time frame. And that's our weekly time frame, right? We can also see that price is clearly bullish. Price is bullish, right, on our monthly time frame, weekly time frame, right? And what did we see? We saw price expanding to the upside and taking out this high on our weekly time frame. And after an expansion, we were expecting a retracement, and we can see that price has already retraced into this level on our weekly time frame, right? Price is actually retracing into this level, and I'd like to see a bit of a reaction when price gets to this other block on our weekly time frame. And on our daily time frame, right, we can also see that price is bullish on our daily time frame. But what are we seeing? What are we seeing price doing at this point? Price took out this high and then created a fair value gap here. Price tapped into it. And from this region, I was actually expecting that price would go bullish from this region. But as we can see, price kept, selling. And I suspect that price should come all the way here. I'm just going to put that here. So I expect that when price gets to this region on a daily time frame, price should continue its bullishness to the upside on our daily time frame. And for our 4-hour time frame, right, price is also very bullish, but these sales we're seeing to the downside is actually retracement. And as we already established on our higher time frames, right? So I expect that price should come into this level that I marked on the daily. Price should trade all the way into this level before continuing its buy to the downside. So I am quite bearish on the XY in this London session. I am bearish on the XY during this London session, right? So we'll be heading down to Euro USD. On our monthly time frame, we can clearly see that price is breaking to the downside, forming lower highs and lower lows to the downside on our monthly time frame. And then on our weekly time frame, we can also see that price is actually bearish, right? So we drew our fib from point A to point B, and then we saw that price retraced into 78.6% fib level and sold from that region, right? Retraced again to 61.8% fib level and sold off, taking out this low, expanding to the downside and retracing into this other block. So since price is at this region, we should expect some sort of a reaction, or it can actually continue retracing, and it can even retrace into this high here on our weekly time frame. But I should be expecting a reaction from this level on our weekly time frame for Euro USD. And down to our daily time frame, price is bearish, right? Price is bearish. We're actually expecting that price will react when it gets to this fair value gap. It did react a bit, but then we expected that price should sell off massively from that point, but price didn't do that. Price just kept buying, right? So this buy on our daily time frame is actually just a retracement and not the overall trend. Overall trend on the daily time frame is a downtrend. And then down to our 4-hour time frame, we can see that the major structure is a downtrend. The impulsive move to the downside is a downtrend. And then we are actually seeing a minor structure to the upside, the corrective move to the upside. So until I see a clear break of structure on EU, either on my 1-hour time frame or my 4-hour time frame, I will be holding the buy. Any retracement I see and my base support formation on my 1-hour time frame with my bullish variation on my 5-minute time frame, I will continue buying Euro USD. So I am bullish on Euro USD for this session and bearish on DXY for this session, right? So any retracement you see and your entry signature, you should take the buy, but then it's a little bit dicey today because we're having a very high impact news coming out on USD, which is the CPI. It could be a whipsaw, right? So if you are already in the trade before CPI, then maybe you should catch whatever you can before the news comes out, because it might be bloody, right? So down to GU. On a monthly time frame, we can actually see that price is bearish to the downside. Price is bearish on our monthly time frame. On our weekly time frame, right? Price is also bearish, right? And then this retracement, this buy we're seeing is actually just a retracement on our weekly time frame and not the overall trend, just a retracement, right? And then on our daily time frame, we can see that price is also very bearish, and this buy is a retracement into maybe this other block on our daily time frame, right? When price gets here, we should be expecting that price will slam down to this IFED on our daily time frame and subsequently taking out this low. When price gets to this IFED, we should be expecting some sort of a reaction, but then I am expecting one more push to the upside into this other block on our daily time frame before price continues its sell into this IOFED and subsequently taking out this low on our daily time frame. And for our 4-hour time frame, the overall trend is, the major trend rather, is actually bearish. And this buy we're seeing to the upside is just the minor structure, right, on our 4-hour time frame and also on our 1-hour time frame. So until I see a clear break of structure to the downside to continue the overall sell on GU, I will be taking and looking out for buys when I see my base support formation and continuation, and then my bullish variation on 5 minutes. I am interested in just buying GU and EU in this London session, right? Until there is a clear break of structure to the downside. Also, kindly trade with caution, or if you can, you should stay out of the market because there's a high impact news by 1:30 p.m. You don't want to be caught in the drama, right? That will be the end of my own analysis. When we go on this very brief break, we'll be having CJ coming before us to have his own analysis on the various pairs that he analyzes, right? So that will be the end for my London session, right? We'll be meeting in the afternoon for New York session. Thank you for having me.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Market Color. Wonderful analysis from Cynthia, where she looked at DXY, that's the dollar index. She also looked at GBP USD and Euro USD and gave us some good insights as to where she expects the markets to be going to. All right, now in this section, I'm going to be looking at the dollar. I'm going to be looking at gold against the dollar, right? And then afterwards, I'm going to be looking at the yen basket, and then we'll look at a few yen currencies before we wrap it up for the day. So straight up, we're going to be starting with the gold analysis. So looking at gold so far in the last couple of weeks, we've seen how gold has rallied to the upside. Now it's trying to find some balance to the downside, but I think that is becoming a little difficult for gold to find. However, we had some levels where we expected gold to retrace to in terms of the retracement of the buy and then continue selling afterwards. So these are the levels we're expecting gold to get to. The first is this 4-hour order block right here. Okay, so the first is this order block right here, the order block that initiated the break of structure to the downside. Okay, so we saw how that gold traded into it and then traded away from it as we all anticipated. Okay, now the next thing we would want to see is for gold to give us some decent retracement based off this recent swing to the downside and then continue selling off. So let's look at it on the 1-hour time frame. We'll be able to see some places where we may be retracing to. Now, while looking at it on the 1-hour time frame, you can see that there is diagonal liquidity that was built on its way downward. So I'm suspecting that gold is going to be taking out all those diagonal liquidity as it has already started doing. This is the first one. Then there's a second here. Then there's a third diagonal liquidity right here. Okay, so it has taken out the first one. It's taking out the second one currently. We're expecting it to even go all the way to take out the third one before it continues selling. So for today, one of the things I'm looking out for on gold is to see it tap into this level and then continue dropping off to the downside. So that's my expectation for gold today. So I would, since I was not able to catch this buy earlier today, I would maybe sit it out and wait for price to get to the level where I analyzed, and then I'll be looking out for my sales from that level. Okay, so let's look at it on 15 minutes to give it more perspective. Now, looking at the 15 minutes, we've missed out on the buy. If you're not in the buy, you can wait for it. Maybe when price takes out all these liquidity points all the way to this upside, then we can start looking out for a buy. If you are even more patient, you can wait for this box structure that was formed around here. We would see something very interesting on that box structure. Okay, so immediately price takes out this high, it will be aiming for this left shoulder right here. So this is another thing that you can look out for on the gold setup for today. So if you can just be a little more patient, I'm expecting gold to trade all the way up here and then start selling off afterwards. If not, then after taking out this liquidity, this current liquidity that it has taken out, it may start selling off afterwards. But then I prefer to see it trade all the way to this upside before it continues selling. So I'm big on selling gold, but before the sell, the outlook is a buy then to sell. All right, a buy to sell model on gold. So possibly we may see this buy or reach all the way to this place. That is about 100 pips plus. Yeah, about 100 pips. Okay, so if you are able to see some entry signatures that would support your movement, that will support the movement of gold to the upside, that could be a fair analysis to take advantage of. So I'm expecting to buy gold further into this place. If I see good entry signatures, I'll support that analysis. I'll buy gold further into this place and then I'll sell it off from here. Okay, so you can be looking out for entry signatures on various time frames that you use to analyze them. For today, we're expecting the consumer price index from the US. Cynthia highlighted something about it earlier today. So it's a measure for inflation in the US. So we're expecting that it will come out flat, although we've been hearing some rumors, we've been hearing analysts giving insights that it will come out higher, it will come out lower than expected, which is going to show some great reaction on the dollar. But however, one thing I'll keep telling you guys is that trading the news is, I say it's not worth it. That's my own perspective. I don't think it's worth it. It's just more like gamble because sometimes the news comes out, retailers misinterpret it, and then whoever releases the news, if it's the Fed chairman or the governor of the central bank, it comes out 30 minutes later to now gives a clear interpretation of the news. So you see the news come out and then to spike to the downside, and then starts rallying back up. You can see what happened yesterday as a reference. You can look at GBP USD or Euro US, even gold. It sold off, then it started buying. So if you are trying to catch the spike in the news, maybe for the thrill of it or just for the adrenaline rush, you can take advantage of it. But I don't think it's worth it in the long term. It's good you just have an overall direction on or an overall perspective of the market with deep understanding so that things like this do not catch you off guard. So for CPI today, I'm expecting a whipsaw as always. I expect possibly CPI may whipsaw into this place and start selling off. If it triggers my entry and then my stop loss is safe, then I will allow the trade to run. If it doesn't, then I'll just quietly wait after the CPI has been digested. Then I would take the trade and follow through with the analysis. So for gold, if it trades into this place and I see confirmation from around this area, I'll be willing to sell gold all the way to take out this low right here. That would be like the first target, and then all these lows residing right here will be the secondary target for gold. For the primary target is here, the secondary target is here. So I'm looking to short gold. I'm just checking out the possible places where it will sell from. One of the levels is either after taking out this high, you may see the sell-off of gold, or it may continue to trade into this left shoulder that has been abandoned all this while, and then continue to sell off. So I'll draw my schematic for gold, take out this high, and then sell off, or take out this other high into this left shoulder and sell off. So whichever one that plays out for me, when I say it playing out for me, I would want to see my entry signature showing up in accordance with any of this. So if I see my entry signature showing up in this region or this region, then I'll know which of them to take for my sell. Okay, so that is that for gold. Then let's move over to yen basket. So this is the yen basket. Let's take a look at it on the daily time frame. Okay, so you can see how that the yen basket has just been playing out nicely as we've analyzed. We, in previous weeks, had two objectives or two points of interest rather for the yen basket buy and then sell. First one was here, and the second one was above here. So you saw that the yen basket traded into this place. I think that reference was drawn from the weekly time frame. You can see that this weekly order block, the first one and then this second one. So I told you guys that the yen basket will most likely trade into the lower order block, seeing the whole order flow is showing that you are bearish on the yen. So yen basket traded into this place. I hope you guys took advantage of it. And then after selling into this place, we saw it sell downward. So we were having the setup for the buy of the yen, and we saw that the yen was supposed to buy into this place based off our technical analysis. And afterwards, we're expecting it to sell off all the way into this region. When I go to the lower time frame, you'll see why we highlighted this region for as a target for this sell-off of the yen. So let's look at 4-hour time frame. So you're seeing that all the analysis that we've been showing you, all the points, all the places we've been marking, all these places have been marked days before now. So you've seen how price is just following through with them. And we hope as price is following through with them, you're also doing so and making profit from it. Now, looking at the yen basket, we're looking at somewhere, I think on the 1-hour time frame. That was where we got that reference from. Yeah. So look at this huge fair value gap on the 1-hour time frame. We drew it out, and then there is also 50% of the order block. Now, I've said of the fair value gap, I've said this thing over and over again. When you see a very large fair value gap or a very large order block that has been created by the market, mark 50% of it. Use your Fibonacci tool and know where 50% of it is, and then draw a line on 50%. Sometimes when the fair value gap is too large, price may not go to grab everything in the fair value gap. It may just grab 50% of it, which is quite decent enough for a mitigation, and then starts going in the original direction. So for the yen basket, I'm expecting it to still sell off a little more all the way to 5845 region, which is 50% of this fair value gap. And then we may now reanalyze and see where it's going to go. Based off our previous analysis, we're expecting a buy into this region and then a sell into this region. So we'll wait for the second one to play out. Once the second one has played out, then we'll reanalyze for a new bias on the yen basket. But overall, I'm bearish on the yen, seeing what the Bank of Japan has been doing in previous days. They've been releasing statements that are a bit hawky, dovish, and they are not showing signs of any intervention anytime soon. So we are clearly bearish on the yen basket. So let's look at how that is going to affect currency pairs like GBP, JPY, Euro, JPY, and the likes. So starting off with GBP, JPY, I told you all too that for GBP, JPY, I'm expecting similar thing to happen on GBP, JPY. I told you in the previous weeks that I'm very bullish on GBP, JPY, very, very bullish on GBP, JPY. I think that was somewhere around Wednesday last week. Okay, so Wednesday last week would have been somewhere around here. Okay, so this was Wednesday last week. Somewhere around this region was Wednesday last week. Told you all that I'm bullish on GBP, JPY. You can see how that has been riding all the way to the upside. Imagine if you were still in this trade all the way from here, from where we made that statement on Wednesday, around here. So price was around here on Wednesday. You would have been about 230 pips in profit by now. So calculate that by the lot sizing that you're using on your various accounts. So for GBP, JPY, I'm still looking to see it trade into very similar thing to what we analyzed on the yen basket, 50% of the fair value gap. So if you don't understand how to draw that, you can follow what I'm doing. So start from the beginning of the fair value gap all the way to the end, then draw your fib on it. Once you've done that, you locate where 50% is, look at where 50% is, then you just place your line on 50% and then you can get rid of the fib. Now this is 50% of the fair value gap. I'm still looking to buy GBP, JPY. I may possibly wait for the news, the CPI news to digest. I know it may not have so much effect on the GBP, JPY, but sometimes you may see about 20 to 50 pips spike on GBP, JPY during this period. But I'm looking to buy GBP, JPY into this level. This is where I'm looking to buy GBP, JPY into 198.122. So if you are having any contrary bias, I think you can just take a look at my own bias and see how we can have a common ground on it. So for GBP JPY today, let's look at 15 minutes time frame to see how we can take advantage of that trade. Seeing what price is doing, I would want to see price take out this spike, okay, because a lot of people would have loaded some positions around this spike. So I would want to see price take out this spike, and then I'll be buying GBP JPY all the way to the upside. You can also see a 15-minute order block, yeah, around here. So this 15 minutes order block is going to possibly be the trigger for the buy of GBP JPY. So I'll be looking out for it. I want to see GBP JPY trade into any of these two levels. Either it takes out this liquidity and trades into this order block, because there are so many inefficiencies around here. It takes it out, I'll be willing to buy GBP JPY all the way to the upside. Okay, so I've shown you where I would want to enter from and where I want to exit from. These are many more are the things we do on our TDA Plus group. So endeavor to sign up with our TDA Plus group. If you need any help doing that, chat us up on Telegram and we'll be able to walk you through it. All right, so finally, we're looking at Euro JPY. All right, I usually do not like to check out USD JPY before GBP JPY because there are lots of conflicts of interest surrounding USD JPY as a pair generally. If you're looking at it from this broader perspective, I'll be expecting some more range on USD JPY, but overall, I'm bullish on USD JPY. Okay, I'm very bullish on USD JPY, but imagine this kind of price action that happened somewhere within the ending of May. We're hoping that that will be the end. You can see how price has been messy throughout the April period, rather. All the period in April, look at how the price action has been very, very messy. I hope it has corrected itself, and then we'll be seeing clearer price action during this period. Now, on USD-JPY, I'm looking to see price trade possibly into this other block. The reason why I would not want to trade USD-JPY in line with my GBP-JPY analysis is this. If you look at 50% of this fair value gap, you see that GBP-JPY has gotten close to it. So two things, sorry, USD-JPY has gotten close to it. So two things may play out. Either this is an inducement, all right, this high right here could be an inducement for price, and price is going to come and take it out later, okay, or price is going to trade into this other block and then start rejecting off from it. So I'll be looking to see USD-JPY sell off into this other block right here, because this kind of price action is all about inefficiencies and how to take advantage of it. So if you're able to spot an inefficiency, you'll be able to find where price is going to and then take advantage of it to the other direction, okay? So for USD-JPY, I'll be looking to see it trade into this level and then trade above. So I'll patiently wait for it to come into this level, wait for my entry signatures, and then I'll be able to buy it all the way to the upside. It's about 100 pip move, quite decent enough for day trading. So if you're able to hop on that trade, congratulations in advance to you. So one other thing you need to take note of is the fact that CPI is coming out today. So try and be patient with your setup and be very greedy, or let's say be very stingy with your stop losses, okay? Be very, very stingy. Don't be generous with your stop loss during this period. Be stingy with your stop loss, be stingy with your lot size in this period, I think just for today, okay? Because of the CPI release we're expecting, all right? And then be generous with your take profit, of course. So we're looking at USD-JPY trading into this level and then trading out of it. So this is about 20 pips, okay? So it's decent enough for your stop loss. 20 pips for 100, that is 1:5. If you're able to hop on this trade and come out of it unscathed and successfully, then that will be enough profit for you, even for the whole of this week. All right, so this is going to be, yes, this is going to be the end of our analysis for today. So we can start taking questions and then further commentaries during this period. So let me just take a few questions before we take commentary. The first question says, okay, the question has been answered in the comment section. Okay, so I would want to ask if there are any other questions so that we can wrap up today's TDA.
Morning, CJ. Good morning, team.
Good morning, sir.
Well done. Great analysis as usual. This pullback to the fair value gap on the yen pairs is now that you are seeing it, that you are saying it. I say, but CJ has been saying this thing since last week. 233 pips. I didn't see it, CJ. Kuroda, you didn't try. You didn't insist. You didn't insist that we should look at GBP JPY. CJ, every day I'll be saying CHF JPY. You didn't insist. 233 easy pips. But like you said, the price action has been very messy. Very, very messy. It's only yen basket that gave a very clear price action on the higher time frame. So that's one of the reasons why I avoided this pair. Okay, so good morning, everyone. With regard to the news coming out today, based on the sentiment, Joshua Kedekole, what determines membership or access to the? It's free. It's totally free. Just request. You'll be added to the TDA group. But TDA group is different from TDA Plus. TDA Plus is where we put specific entries and exits. That one is also free, but you must have a funded account with OctaFX. So once you fund your account with OctaFX, you'll be added to the TDA Plus group, where trade signals, trade entries, trade analysis is given morning and afternoon, London and New York. So that's what's on ground. I hope I've answered that. So for all of you that are online, I hope we all enjoyed yesterday's session with Francis Bala. Those of you who are heavy on institutional trading concepts, inner circle trading, Michael Huddleston, Francis has eaten, digested, regurgitated his work, and is doing amazingly well. All right, so you can always link up with him. He used to be on our floor, and Francis was one of the first set of people to withdraw in millions, multiple millions from Consumate back when he was on our floor. Now he runs his own floor, Karish Trading Institute in Maiduguri. They had their own conference earlier in the year, and they're doing very, very well. So we're proud to be associated with his work, and he's an alumni of the VFT group, and he's doing fantastically well as a trader and as a Forex business person. So what am I looking at to see today? Mind you, everything that we're sharing here, Francis too will also be at, he'll be at the Traders Bootcamp in Abuja. So it's going to be a fantastic time to network. Please note this, guys, there's more to trading than just calling trades, signals. Trading is a business, trading is an industry. When you come for events like that, you get to network, you get to see the opportunities in the industry as a trader, as an analyst, as a facilitator, as a coach, as a broker, you get to see, all right? Joseph, the minimum deposit for OctaFX, well, we advise that you do $500, but if you're really good with your entries, you can drop it down a bit, maybe $250, $300, but definitely not less than $100, $200, all right? And mind you, you're trading it slow and steady. It's not like you're going in and then just taking trades and losing your money. No, taking it slow and steady until you get confidence, you gain more confidence about your entries and your trades. So back to what I was saying, at the bootcamp, there are going to be networking sessions. You're going to get a chance to interact with like-minded traders like yourself. We're going to be discussing bots. We're going to be showcasing some of our bots and their performance and how to manage their risks. We're going to be discussing psychological issues, trading psychology. Sajeri, all right, I'll check the DM. Trading psychology and different other things. We're also going to be having, out of the 6 sessions that we're having, 1 is a paid session, the VIP exclusive, Millionaire Traders and Investors VIP exclusive is a paid session on Friday, and it's going for $100. $100. It's a paid session. Out of the 6 sessions, 1 is a paid session, and there are bonuses attached to that, one of which includes a complimentary trading bot, to be given to you. So out of those 6 sessions, you will get value. You will get value. For the paid session, the early bird guys get a discount, but it's $100. So once we make announcements that people should pay, right, the very first set of people to pay, we don't know the specific number yet, maybe like 5, you'll get at least a 30% or 40% discount. But after those people are done paying, it reverts back to $100. So please invite as many people as possible. If you're coming, please share the publicity. If you've gotten value from what we offer here, please let other people know. It's right in the city of Abuja, in the center. Maitama, very accessible. Some of you say you don't have where to stay. You have friends. If it's important to you, you will come. I can tell you this for certain. After that conference, you will have a clear-cut blueprint of what you want to do with your trading career, where you want to go, and the tools that are available to you in terms of trading strategy, in terms of trading robots, in terms of a trading community, in terms of a trading network. All right? So don't miss out on any of the sessions that we are going to be having. All right? So with regard to the news today, what am I seeing? Amos Omede, what's the best time frame entry? When I see questions like this, Amos, I know you just joined us or you're not totally used to what we're doing. So I'll just advise you to keep following and then you would see how we come up about our trades and our entries. Okay. To what we're seeing today. Now let's see Euro USD. Let's see Euro USD. So generally on the dollar, across board, we've been seeing that the yen has been the worst performer in recent times. Everything has been selling off against the yen, as you can see from yen basket. And with regard to that, when it comes to the dollar, there has been selling pressure on the dollar, but it's not totally enforced. Let's see the daily. Let's see the daily. All right, you can zoom in a bit. So since the 24th of April, we have seen that there's pressure. So Euro USD, all right, let's see GBP USD. Let's see GBP USD. Same thing, selling pressure in the last couple of days on the dollar, meaning they are buying versus the dollar. Then let's see AUD USD. Since the 23rd, about 2 weeks, two and a half weeks, 3 weeks now. AUD USD, same thing, all right? It's now at the highs. Now, let's see the dollar index. Let's see the dollar index. So everything has been selling off. All right. Okay, so we've also seen that selling pressure. Okay. Now, based on what we've seen so far, let's see USD CHF. USD CHF, last and final one. All right, can you see what I'm seeing? Is anybody seeing what I'm seeing here? So I said that the dollar has been weak, but we've not seen that weakness across board. So you see what's happening on USD CHF. Let's see USD JPY. USD JPY. USD JPY. Same thing. We have not seen it push to the downside. So basically what I've seen, what this is telling me is that with regard to the news today, we may see the dollar sell off a bit, especially dollar yen and dollar Swiss, USD JPY and USD CHF. Why am I saying so? Is because I'm seeing certain levels of imbalance. I'm seeing that whilst the other pairs, Euro USD, GBP USD, have all been forming higher highs since the 24th, we've not seen the same thing on the yen. It's almost as if they are struggling to see who will be weaker. The Japanese yen being the weakest, Swiss franc being the second weakest, and dollar being the least. So I'm expecting to see a pullback on USD JPY, where it now taps into that void and then sells off. So let's see it on 4-hour USD JPY. USD JPY on the 4 hours. Okay, very clearly, we have seen our shoulder. We have seen our sweep. We have seen our break of structure to the downside. Thank you. We have seen our shoulder. We have seen our sweep. We have seen our break of structure to the downside. but we have not seen price pull back into that block. So I'm expecting that when the news comes out, we'll see a short spike to the upside, and then price will come all the way to the downside. What are the specific points we are looking for? Shoulder, sweep, fair value gap 50%. I think this has already been done. That fair value gap there, the 50% of it, 50% of it. So price tapping into that 50% of it. Okay, fantastic. Let's see it on the 15-minute. On the 15-minute. Okay. So you can see that there's still room for it to tap above 156.74 and 158.15. So any news now, CPI, I'm pretty sure it will sweep all the liquidity to the upside, and then it will start coming back down. Let's do the same for USD CHF. USD CHF has cleaner price action compared to USD JPY because it's not as volatile. So USD CHF has cleaner price action. Between the paid session, can you give an idea of the program that will come first? The paid sessions are coming, the free sessions are coming first. We are giving our free sessions first. Thursday, free sessions back to back. It's on Friday that the second session is a paid session. We're going to do 4 free sessions that will be value packed. So based on the value that you get, you will now decide whether or not you want to be in the paid session, or you can just decide from now. So look at USD CHF, where are our gaps? Let's see it on the daily first so that they can see the top down. Let's see it on the daily if we zoom in a bit. Okay. Okay, we're already seeing that there has been some sort of box pattern. That's our shoulder. That's our sweep. That's our shoulder. That's break of structure to the downside. Let's put our 50%. So you know the box strategy, 50%. Let's put our 50% Fibonacci in that fair value gap so we can see what price will likely do. So on the daily, there was a move to the upside, a break of structure to the downside. It broke the first level of structure. It hasn't broken beyond that. So that 50%, that's where we expect price to go back to. So anytime you see the box, there's a shoulder, there's a sweep, there's a break of structure to the downside, violent move that should form a fair value gap. Then you look at the 50% of that, you mark it. Thank you very much. Then you can also mark the shoulder in case price wants to tap all the way into that shoulder. You can use a rectangle for the shoulder so that exactly. So those are the possible regions price can tap back into. Let's zoom it down and refine it. Refine it. Okay. Can you see that it has engineered liquidity? How do we know it has engineered liquidity? Look at those triple exactly right there where CJ is. It has grabbed the liquidity, but it didn't grab it fully, but it tapped into it. Then there's another fair value gap above. Now that we are refining it, you're seeing another fair value gap above at 920. At 0.92 exactly. So let's do our 50% of that. That's also a potential level. Although price has grabbed that liquidity, but it's also a potential level. If the news comes out, and price closes above the high of 9170, then it's likely to tap into it. So that 9179 that we've drawn, price should not be able to go below that evening star, that stopper shocker there. But if it closes above it, that's an inverted fair value gap, then we know it's going to target the liquidity above there and start coming to the downside. There's also a shoulder there, right at the 50% that you drew. There's a shoulder there. You can see that there was a shoulder there that price exactly. That's another shoulder coinciding with. So we may see price sweep to that level. Then let's see if we can refine on the 15 minutes. Now it's way higher. It's way higher. We don't know if the news will be that violent to reach there, over 100 pips, but just in case, all right, so what am I expecting for the CPI? I'm expecting price to tap into those levels, the liquidity above, then break structure to the downside, and then form a lower low. Why? All the other pairs, Euro USD has formed a higher high, AUD USD higher high, GBP USD higher high, but USD CHF has refused to form a lower low. So I'm thinking they will use CPI to balance up and close that liquidity gap. All right. So that's what I'm looking at. Then let's look again at our good old CHF JPY. CHF JPY. Until there's a fundamental news coming out with regard to interest rates, I think the divergence is not strong enough to make anything happen on the pair. If anything, we have seen the pair try to move higher. So it has tapped into that fair value gap. The only challenge I see is that price has closed. So CJ, you see the fair value gap there with the stopper shocker? Exactly. Let's mark that. Let's mark that. All right. Okay. So we're going to have a session for all those who want to volunteer. We're going to be having a virtual session with our volunteers. So we'll announce it before the end of the week. It will be next week, and then you'll get to, at this weekend or early into next week, you get to know what the tasks are. They're not very serious tasks in terms of the rigor, but we have to do it in a way that is excellent. All right, so we've seen price close above that fair value gap. Look at our shoulder. That's our shoulder there. That's our sweep. And our break of structure to the upside. So it's looking like box failure has happened. Box failure has happened. Zoom in. Zoom in for me. All right. So why do I say so? The first thing is price closed above that fair value gap. And we had strong green candles, just no red, no pausing at all, as if there's no box there. It's just breaking to the upside. Then lastly, we now have a fresh shoulder that was formed. See that shoulder that was formed just before the fair value gap, that high, the stopper shocker. The high of the, yes, exactly. That's a fresh shoulder. You can mark that. That's a fresh shoulder. Remember, we say shoulder, then sweep. There will be a shoulder formed, then there will be sweep. All right? Yes, exactly. So let's bring it down to a lower time frame. So price broke above that fair value gap. And then now price has gone to wipe it like a sweep. So based on this, now that there's been a grab of liquidity, you can zoom in. We're expecting some sort of profit taking, some sort of pullback between that fair value gap. So you see there's a fair value gap above that shoulder. There's a fair value gap above that shoulder all the way exactly there. Let's do the 50%. So what am I thinking that price did? Price broke and closed above that fair value gap, implying that there's most likely going to be a box failure, right? And then price has tapped into CHF JPY's fair value gap above. So I'm thinking that that tap is a sweep. Is a sweep of liquidity. It has swept that liquidity in that fair value gap. And so for today's CHF JPY, I'm expecting some sort of push to the downside, right? To tap into where the box failure happened, right? And for price to now resume back up. So CHF JPY buys, let's come to the 15 minutes and look for the exact possible entry. 15 minutes. Okay, so all right, so you see that it has formed liquidity 172.70, equal highs all the way there. Equal highs there. and then fair value gap. So the same markup for the fair value gap for the equal highs. I'm expecting when news comes out, you can see there are equal highs there, there's liquidity there. I'm expecting a sharp pullback to the upside around 172.70 levels before price now comes all the way down. So where will your entry be? Exactly. So that's liquidity that can be grabbed. Then 172.65. That's liquidity that can be grabbed too. 172.65. Exactly. All right. So if this candle closes below that fair value gap, then I know there's a possibility of a move to the downside. We keep watching. If price taps into that level, if it closes below that order block where it is right now, if it closes below that order block, then we know that price can pull back 20, 30, 40 pips, tap into 172.60. Exactly. Price is not supposed to close below that if that is actually going to hold. So now some of you can take a quick scalp to the upside, but I'm not interested in that. I want to see price go all the way to 172.60, 65, 70 levels, grab the liquidity above, and then come crashing down to the lower fair value gap. So if I were to take a trade, I would wait. Let's see what CPI would do. But typically at around 172.68 levels, you can put your sell limit there, 172.68 levels or 65 levels or 60 levels. It depends on what price does around there. A grab of liquidity to the upside. So CJ, you can just mark that for me, and then we see how that plays out. A grab of liquidity to the upside. There, then come all the way down and then go all the way to the lower time frame, the fair value gap that is below. All right, so that's what I'm looking at that can likely happen based on that interest rate differential play. What are we looking for price to do here? We'd like to see the yen basket buy intermediate in the interim to see if that will give some buying pressure to the yen, and then CHF-JPY will come all the way down. So it's not breaking that low. If it breaks that low and closes below that order block, then I know that the sellers are now in control. We'll just have a sweep of liquidity and then come back down, and price will keep going for the lows of the day, the lows of yesterday, the lows of the week, and tap into that fair value gap. So that's what I have for you today. I'm waiting to see the dollar finally form a lower low across all the pairs and a higher high on Euro USD, XXX USD pairs to the upside, and USD XXX pairs to the downside. That imbalance is there. We need to see that close. All right. So thank you very much. If you have specific questions, I'm thinking, could CHF be aiming to fill 50% of the week? Yes, that's exactly what we're saying. So after it feels that, you need to see a break of structure. You need to mark the liquidity levels, watch price, grab those liquidity levels. If this current candle closes below that order block, then the sellers are in control. The sellers are in control. I said the dollar, for the dollar, if you notice when we started on the daily, Euro USD has done higher high, GBP USD has done higher high, AUD USD has done higher high, USD CHF has not done higher high, lower low, and USD JPY has not done lower low. So that's an imbalance. So that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at those two pairs to see them push to the downside. CHF JPY also to the downside. So USD CHF is a sell-off, CHF JPY a sell-off, and USD JPY a sell-off. All right. Mark the liquidity levels. Okay, so you can see price closing below. If it closes below, then I know that it's just trying to engineer liquidity, grab the liquidity to the upside, and come back down. All right. Thank you very much. Over to you, CJ. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful analysis as always. And everyone, we hope
Free
you are
trade, though,
taking advantage of
USD
these analysis that we've been showing you every day on the market column. You've seen how consistent
Euro
we've been
USD
and
is
how
going up. Sorry to
precise we've
interrupt
been.
you, CJ. Sorry to interrupt. I said Euro USD has already done higher highs. It's USD CHF that has not done lower lows. Look at it right now. All the pairs, GU higher high, Euro USD higher high. Just look at it on the daily. Sorry to interrupt. Someone was asking a question. Euro USD has already done the higher high. You can check it and see. AUD USD has already done the higher high. GBP USD has already done the higher high. So why hasn't USD CHF and USD JPY? I see it now. It has broken the high. So I'm saying if you look at this now, USD CHF has not done its own lower low on the day. It hasn't done its own lower low. This is how you use sentiment. Do you see USD CHF? It has not broken its own low. It's just about to. So once that breakout happens to the downside, that's a quick move to the downside. Grab that liquidity, the double bottom liquidity on the daily, on the 4 hour. You can see it there. Grab below that, where it currently is. Exactly, it's those two lows. Should we look for confirmation on the lower time frame when we execute the sell limit in order to get a more perfect entry? You use your lower time frames for your entries. Use your lower time frame for your entries. So you can see all that liquidity resting there. If price breaks below it, it's going to come back now. It's going to come back. Look at the equal highs and the equal lows. That's where price is at right now. There are equal lows to the downside and there are equal highs to the upside. If it closes below those lows, it has grabbed liquidity to the downside to go up, grab the upper liquidity, and then come back down. But there's going to be a sharp move now to the downside as it grabs all this liquidity. There's going to be a sharp move right now to the downside. It will grab all that liquidity to the downside. That's what I was saying. So there is liquidity. It is going all the way down. We're going to see like a 30 or so pip drop as it grabs all the liquidity before CPI. All right? So, okay then. Thank you, CJ.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful and insightful analysis during this period. We really appreciate it. For everyone, we hope you are taking advantage of everything that we've been saying and analyzing here, and we hope you are building a technical analysis pathway for yourself or a strategic pathway for yourself in trading the forex market. Until we meet again in New York session, where we're going to be analyzing the post CPI. We're going to be looking at what happened in the CPI and its impact in the currencies market, and then we'll be looking forward to and for the synthetics and the indices and commodities analysis for tomorrow morning. Okay, so the video is available on YouTube right now, so you can go to YouTube and watch it at the end of this session. Remember to keep spreading the news of the Traders Bootcamp coming up in Abuja on the 30th to 31st of May 2024. Spread the good news. You have the flyers. If you need any of the promotion materials, please send us a DM and we're going to make that available to you. And also take part in the various challenge of the Traders Bootcamp that has started since this week and win amazing and wonderful prizes during the period. Until we meet again in the New York session, I wish you good luck and good trading. Cheers and God bless, guys.